Hi, welcome. My name is hwoo. This pop-up week, this is the Rising Chef series, and I'm going to be kicking off a month-long of pop-ups at the JCCC, hosted by House of Suntory. A little nervous, a little excited. It's going to be great. So I'm going to be a chef for a week, basically. It's going to be fun. 100 people, 5 courses each person, 3 cocktails. Everyone paid $200 to come, so it's like a legit restaurant for a week. So 3 days.
Hard time.
I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do this thing.
Chef, what is that?
It's a deaf device.
Oh.
Shove your hand right here and just...
Oh. I think I have one of those at home.
Yeah?
It's called like a flashlight.
Fucking cut. The worst saran wrap job you'll ever...
Damn, dude. Wait, let me see that.
I didn't learn anything from that.
Stern father.
He's disappointed in me.
So none of this would have been possible at all without sponsors. Maybe it's like an advantage I have for being a content creator, but sponsors are what made this possible. So first off, the event sponsors, Suntory, IW Group that put on the event, and JCCC for hosting the space. The other sponsors that I brought into this event were Trojan Caviar. I love you guys for the rest of my life until I die on my tombstone. Thank you. D'Artagnan for a lot of the ducks and chicken that was used for this, and then Calpico for Calpico products and using it for the ice cream. I can't do this without sponsors, so thank you, thank you, thank you.
Burrito over there. The pasta over here. The duck over here. And the dessert can be over there. Over here. And kind of. Oh yeah, baby.
So I'm Korean. This menu and this event means a lot for me as a creative because it's third culture food, which is me as an Asian American growing up in America. What did I eat? And like composing that into my taste. I grew up actually eating a lot of Korean and a lot of Japanese food. I grew up near Torrance, which is one of the biggest Japanese populations in the US. And so I not only have a very fond nostalgia for Korean food, but also Japanese food. And I think this is such an accurate representation of my life experiences, and what it means to be Asian American, which is what this menu is.
I'm fucking shaking right now. No, are you really?
Yeah.
Are you stressed? All your friends.
I'm not stressed. I'm just like
Stress. There's no stress.
just talk a lot and have fun.
Yeah.
So the first course is just canapes, which is a fancy word for like finger food. It's like nice to have a composed bite, and you don't really have to like put something together as a guest, and you just eat it one go and you can enjoy it. So on the canapes, the first one that's most important to me is the uni crispy rice. The first place I ever staged at was Kato in LA, and now Kato's grown to become this incredible place run by John Yao. I staged there for 2 weeks. I don't even really tell people I staged there. First things that I ever had there was an uni tapioca parmesan fritter. It was unreal. I was like, holy shit, I need to copy this. This is uni on top of regular sushi rice that's been seasoned and formed and then deep fried. We inject the inside with Parmesan shoyu cream. So it's basically just like thickened Parmesan sauce, cream sauce with soy sauce and oyster sauce. Just like one of the best bites, in my opinion, like best composed bites you can have. The second bite on this is a shigoku oyster, and on top is a blood orange ponzu gelée sauce. The thought behind this was, I love oysters. Shigoku oysters, I think, are some of the best oysters. We wanted to use the trim of the second course, which uses a lot of blood orange, in another course so we don't waste. I think part of being a good chef is making sure that you don't waste products when you buy something. We had the ponzu gelée on top, we had drops of wasabi oil, and then on top are hanaho, which is shisa flower buds, which are super pretty and very fragrant. And the plating style of it was something I saw at Tsugalaba a lot. It was just putting an oyster on top of a salt mound, and I think it just looks really classy. The third canapé and the last one is kind of a classic that I always do. It's just caviar and fried chicken, but this time we made it into a little chicken nugget with a ranch chantilly, just like a ranch cream, caviar on top, and then underneath is the shiso leaf, One of the recipes that really blew up for me was caviar and fried chicken. I know it's very like lowbrow, highbrow. It's probably overused now, but I think it just tastes freaking phenomenal. The chicken nugget, I used the recipe from Sugawabo. So working at Sugawabo, I used his like chicken mousse recipe to make this. The batter is like a Haku vodka and Suntory all-free batter using the product that we got. You have it in one bite and it's like this umami, crunchy fried chicken with bites and pops of caviar. You can't complain, it's not bad. So shout out to Petrosian again. Like, couldn't do that dish without Petrosian sponsoring. So.
hwoo.lee.
This is Michael. I love Michael. I've known Michael for a couple of years, but he was the CDC at Pasta Bar, and he's the one that actually brought me into stage at Pasta Bar. And Chef Michael was mostly on the canapé and the hamachi crudo stations. He was manning the fryer, he was helping me make the chicken nuggets. Honestly, like, I can trust him to cook a lot of things and not have to go over there all the time and micromanage, because he also just has so much experience in the kitchen. And I was like, can you please help me with this pop-up? And he was like, of course. And so that's why he's here.
And then also like consider that if we're frying 20 of them and saucing 20 of them, and then I'll pass them up to you up there, and we'll let them cool for a second.
The second course is hamachi crudo or yellowtail crudo. I think when I first learned how to work with raw fish, the first fish I used was hamachi, because I think most Asian grocery stores or fish markets, you can buy frozen hamachi fillets. If someone asked me, like, oh, how'd you get comfortable slicing raw fish? It's like sushi and crudos and all this. And I was like, just practice. I'm nowhere near perfect per se, but I've gotten a lot more comfortable using like certain knives, yanagibas, to slice down and break down raw fish and cut them thinly. And that just takes practice.
I would go like this.
They're all pretty uniform, so it's a little harder. Be a little thicker, and then instead of the dots of oil, I actually
You want to just drizzle?
like
Yeah, send it.
This dish is first inspired by yam salmon, which is spelled like yum salmon. 2022, I had it back in Thailand. And so I drew inspirations from just travels. Pricked nampla, fish sauce, Thai chilies, lime juice, inspired vinaigrette on top of the fish with Thai basil herb oil. There's fried shallots, toasted coconut shavings, supremes of blood orange and navel orange. It's just a very like refreshing, spicy kick dish, and like raw fish is, I think, one of the best things ever.
Bravo, chef, bravo.
Because it's a small team for this pop-up and it's a tasting menu, you can have stations, but we didn't really have stations and everyone just kind of worked on everything together. So it worked in a way where we were all synergized and we all working on the same thing at once, and we all can kind of read each other's body movements. It's like the best team I've ever worked with, to be honest.
Hi, I'm Peter.
So this is Peter. I don't know if you guys recognize Peter, but he makes content on social media as well. He wanted to come in and get more like fine dining experience, and so he came into stage. I love Peter. He's a super nice guy, and he's so keen to learn. I think he learned a lot coming, and he helped out with basically any station that needed help. I would ask him to help me out with this or that, blah, 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 plating, and he's like a great stage.
Wait, did you put any wine?
Yeah.
You did? Yeah. Put more wine.
Laughing?
The boy who lived. It looks gross, but
It's gonna be yummy.
it's gonna be yummy. Yes. And then lemongrass. That's all duck fat.
This third course, this was an effort to use up all of the duck leg trim, because, you know, when you order a whole duck, you have so much product to use. You have the breasts, you have the legs, you have the neck, you have the back. And so I was like, how am I gonna use the legs? And so we decided to do duck leg confit with a cavatelli. So it's like a duck confit pasta. First off was nori cavatelli, incorporating Korean flavors. So blended up kim really into fresh cavatelli duck. That was the pasta. We used the duck legs from the ducks that we ordered to confit them and put them into the pasta. I love pickled mushrooms, so it's like, okay, let's throw some pickled mushrooms in there for acidity. And then the sauce is dashi, duck stock, parmesan, like a blend of that. And actually in the kitchen, we were tasting it and we're like, why does this taste like Asian pizza to us? But it was really good. It's like dashi, parmesan, duck sauce, duck confit, nori cavatelli, pickled mushrooms. This was like the dish that came together last minute, to be honest, but it worked. Never made this dish before. Conceptually, it worked in my head, so we all put it together and the team made it happen.
Duck bone dashi sauce and parmesan.
Khanh. He's very quiet. Khan's very soft-spoken. Khanh hates being called chef, so I'm just gonna call him Khanh. I met Khanh at Pasta Bar. One of the best teachers I've ever met in a kitchen. He mostly manned the duck and the pasta station, the hotline. Khan's just like super experienced, super knowledgeable. Just ask him for his opinion on things, and he helped like create the pasta dish. He helped me out with the duck dish.
You know what? In my mind, I was like, dashi and duck jus. You know what? Now we know.
This fourth course is probably the one where it's like the most French, right? We age ducks for 2 weeks. This just allows the duck to dry out on the outside. The enzymes work to break down the meat so it's more tender. When you eat fresh duck, the fat is too chewy and it's kind of gross, but when you eat dried duck fat, it's like melts in your mouth. We roast the duck on the crown, then we smoke it over rosemary. We present it to the guests on this French style like presentation of the ingredient. And so we show off the duck crown. Pair this dish with kabocha squash and a pokbunda duck jus reduction. This dish is actually inspired by a very traditional Korean dish, which is just duck and kabocha squash. And you eat it grilled, you can eat it where the duck is like cooked in the squash. And so I was like, how do I make a like, fine dining version of kabocha squash and duck? Tastes great. I love the presentation. I'm a sucker for like tableside pours. I love just like pouring sauce tableside. I think it's just sexy. It's like something I learned from Sugalabo, honestly, and like other restaurants that just do these tableside pours.
It should just taste like the essence of duck, kind of. So please enjoy.
This is Chef Chris Ono.
Chef Chris.
The last person is Chef Chris Ono, and he is the resident chef at JCCC. He has the most extensive career out of anyone on my team. He just kind of floated around and like helps with everything. But Chris is just the most knowledgeable, experienced chef that I know. And I was like, can you please help me? And he said, yes, of course. I get along with Chris super well. We both just crack jokes all the time. When it comes down to like work and making sure the food gets out on time, hot and ready, he's always the person to be like, all right, this is work, no more jokes, get shit done. So, love Chef Chris Ono. And honestly, this entire team is the best team I could have asked for. I think it's possible. The fifth course is probably my favorite. This is strawberries and calpico. I love all the textures in your mouth, and it's like pop, 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 like what's going on, and it's like interesting to eat. On the bottom is a macerated strawberries, which is just like a fancy way of just putting strawberries in sugar and then just letting them like soften. We put a little black pepper and rose water, and that's from Jeremy Fox. We put strawberry pingsu, so I just blended up strawberries, froze them into a block, and then shaved them down. So they're like just straight strawberry ice. A scoop of calpico ice cream that we make in-house with calpico concentrate, then a matcha mousse. So you just charge up matcha mousse in a ice canister. Finish it off as a meringue shard with dehydrated strawberry powder, freeze-dried strawberry powder. And when you break into this dish, it has all these textures kind of forming in one scoop, and I think it's just well composed.
Enjoy, and thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. It's down, huh?
Yeah.
You guys should see my kitchen.
We're done. Thank God. I just want to go sleep. Holy shit. Successful week. We did have a huge hiccup today. Shout out Mark Akuda for sending over some extra uni. I almost ran out of uni on the last turn today. But before I go home and go to bed, like, I think my biggest flaw, the hardest thing I dealt with this week was budgeting. I had $7K to work with for budget, so it's about $70 per person. And I just went too hard on like the luxury ingredients. Like shout out to Petrosian again. Had I actually bought all that caviar at retail price, could not have done this at all. The uni as well, so expensive, so good. I was just using like premium products for everything, which is great. But ended up losing a little money on the budget side, but it's fine. It's worth it. It's like worth doing it for these events. Yeah, basically I averaged over, not 70, $7,000, 100 people. What's the math? What is that? 7,000 divided by 100 is 70, right? Basically $70 per person to use for food product. And I went over that, which is kind of nuts. I need to go to bed. I'm so tired. I just learned a lot about management skills, budgeting, and I'm gonna do another one after I go to sleep. Good night, peace, like, subscribe. Thank you again for watching. And comment what you wanna see. If you just comment with a period at the bottom, it'd be fucking sick. And I'll see y'all on the next vlog, video thing. Peace.